I want to set a scene for you. Picture a car on a bridge engulfed in flames, licking the night sky with this empty, lonely, deserted feeling. You have no idea why you're here. You have no idea what happened, but you know that something is wrong. You feel scared and alone. Your brain tries to create a detailed memory, a technique to help you understand what is happening. Can you manage to make it through? Will you stay? What happens when the lines between states of consciousness start to blur? When time itself feels like a spinning top stuck in a looping dream? When life becomes a liminal space that distorts reality and contorts the truth, causing you to become disoriented? You get the movie Stay, is what you get. Stay is not a conventional look at life passing before your eyes. Instead of being a linear timeline of your existence, it takes you on a journey that feels utterly nonsensical. The characters are never who they seem to be, they are never where they should be, and moments repeat ad nauseum, like a CD that gets stuck and skips over and over again. You don't know what you're witnessing, but you can feel the pressure continue to build with each passing moment. There are questions that need answers, and with each new theory, you are no closer to getting them than you were when you started the journey. It is a poignant and beautiful rendition of life through the lens of someone who is trying to figure out what's happening to them. No longer placated by mundane day-to-day thoughts. Instead, their brain is a wasteland of important moments that are all part of a jumbled puzzle they're trying to piece together. Whose story is this, though? At first, we believe it's Ewan McGregor's story. He takes a central role in trying to decipher Henry's psyche and frightening cryptic statements. Getting through to Henry won't be easy. He's incredibly resistant to Sam Ewan's character. He feels like he's been discarded by his former psychologist, and now he's being asked to trust Sam seemingly out of nowhere. The office is surrounded in frosted and textured glass, representing Henry's understanding, thoughts, and relationship to this new psychiatrist. He wants to open up, he wants to understand, but his thoughts are a mess. The clarity he seeks is just barely beyond reach. Many scenes appear to be brief moments that become a mass of innocuous nods toward a life that feels a bit unfinished. Many of the characters end up in moments where they push thoughts away, leaving things feeling undone. When Sam looks at the ring he's bought Lila, but he never proposes throughout the film. When Lila attempts to finish a thought, but Sam runs off before she can, leaving her thoughts left unsaid. Even in the constant flicker between Henry and Sam's flashes of memories that feel more like dreams, you can tell that a life has ended before it's begun. This feeling is intensified through the fever dream-like quality that the movie is steeped in. The editing feels jarring and abrupt, keeping everything feeling disconnected and jagged. Stay actually begins with its own theory by alluding to the question of whether or not the entire event is just some sort of psychosis, with another character pointing out that Henry did an entire paper on the subject as a way to question this very theory. Henry is in distress, and his brain is fighting to stay active. Within this fight, things are unclear and very strange. The subject is brought up because logically this makes sense. The things that he's experiencing don't feel normal at all. His brain is slowly shifting toward death, and it feels like it's breaking from reality. What he's experiencing is a coping mechanism and not a break from reality that is rooted in psychosis, though. Henry has a linear connection to all of the characters in the movie. Lila has scars that are just like his, scars that are from another life, as Lila calls them. Henry is often repentant throughout the movie, and there is this pervasive feeling of guilt as well as sorrow, not only for what's happened in this moment, but for the version of himself in the past that he needs to make amends with. Throughout transitions in the movie, we can see the distinct connections between Henry, Lila, and Sam. Often this comes in the form of morphing Henry into Sam and vice versa through editing. Lila and Sam seem like two sides of the same personality, Henry's personality. They represent the side of Henry that is artistic and brooding, the side that questions everything he does with a fine-toothed comb to the point where it feels like imposter syndrome. Then there is the side of Henry that is more logical, introspective, and a bit more practical. The two sides have a beautiful relationship, and they complement each other's needs well, showing that Henry isn't at odds with himself, he's at odds with what's happening to him and a past that he cannot reconcile. He's trying his best to piece together himself to figure out why he feels guilty and how to make the world around him feel right again. Henry tells Sam that there are voices talking to him in his head. The voices say the strangest things. They never tell him things to do, and they aren't scary. They're quite inane, actually, pointing out random things. I know you're not supposed to move them. I can't watch this anymore. It's all just casual conversation that seems to be playing in the background, like a TV that was left on inside of his head. Henry isn't agitated by these voices. They're more like a fact of life, something that he notices rather than something that changes his affect directly. Nevertheless, Henry tells Sam that he's going to do away with himself at midnight on Saturday, which is a very serious threat. Furthermore, he's taken to more physical means of coping. He's burned himself on the bus with a cigarette to prevent his inevitable downfall into hell. That's his claim to Sam for why he burned himself. And there seems to be very little connection between this action and any direct spiritual-based consequences. Rather, he's attempting to escape the hell in his mind that has been created. Self-harm can sometimes be a means of escaping mentally torturous thoughts that consume you. Giving yourself a tangible way to express and feel pain can be cathartic. Physical pain may be preferential to psychological torment, especially when the brain is on overdrive like Henry's. Sam is obviously not happy about the sudden revelation that Henry is going to off himself. He suggests that things within the session escalate in order to prevent Henry from taking his own life. The idea is to keep Henry alive, to help him stay around, to convince him that there is more life to live and that it doesn't have to end here. But there is a trust that's been built between Sam and Henry, and in order to maintain that trust, Sam allows Henry to walk away from him without escalating things further. It would only make things worse to continue on a path like that. There is still time anyway. He's only going to do it on Saturday, and it's not quite Saturday yet. It is important to note that Sam seems to think Henry is feeling guilty about lighting his car on fire and letting it burn on the highway. And that's what initially precipitated these visits to the office. There is so much more to the story, though, and we will get there. When Sam meets up with B.D. Wong, who might I add is constantly being typecast as a psychologist/psychiatrist all of the time, and I can see why. It's because he's so good in these roles. But anyway, I digress. His meeting with B.D. Wong provides yet another interesting interaction. A woman who is staying under hold at a psychiatric facility screams and wails while being taken out of the room. She screams, "He's just a boy," as she's led out of the area. While this woman is clearly in distress and just kind of spouting things, these types of strange statements keep making appearances throughout the movie. Everything is ignored for the most part, and it's hard to say exactly what Henry is thinking in these moments. It seems like he's just trying to make sense of things that are happening around him, but the way in which the people talking are portrayed in his mind is interesting. Some people are crazy, others feel a little bored, and some feel very significant. The people around Henry watching him fade are all reacting in very different ways. Some are taking things in stride, some are sort of freaking out, and this is all seen within the context of the movie playing out in Henry's mind. Their emotions play out in these very extreme ways, though. It's not just a woman saying things about a scene that is extremely upsetting. She's having a psychiatric episode instead. So this woman is not distraught. She's absolutely losing her mind. The movie is also filled with shots that are known as liminal spaces. Some backgrounds in the movie look borderline artificial, and that is definitely intentional. It reminds me quite a bit of the movie Vivarium, which is like liminal space's ultimate boss, to be honest. The camera often awkwardly leans into angles that feel uncomfortable and distracting. Perhaps this is more than just something that is happening for the audience, though. This could also be Henry's distorted visual perspective. He's not all there right now, and when we get to the end of the movie, you can see that there are people all around him standing up, and he's seeing from a corroded perspective of the mind, not only, but he is also seeing visually from a awkward perspective as well. Sam and Lila have a moment in their apartment, and Sam has been oddly quiet on the issue of Henry. This is because Lila tried to commit some time ago, and he doesn't want to bring up the issue of what Henry said to him for fear of triggering himself and her. He becomes a bit paranoid about her mental state, so I think it's already something that's triggered him, really. You can see in the background of their conversation that their apartment has a portrait of a bridge, and that is the bridge that we saw in the background in the beginning while Henry burned his car. The picture is set up in pieces that, if you put them together, they create this larger version of a picture of a bridge. It's an interesting way to communicate to the audience that what we are witnessing as audience members are just pieces of a larger picture, a bridge to another life or a bridge to another form of existence for Henry. Henry is just going about his life within this dream, but nothing is right within this reality. Sam stares at Henry during a college lecture from a window with intense interest and longing in his eyes. He wants desperately to understand how to help Henry, but can't seem to find a way out of his scenario before time is up, and he's getting more and more desperate by the day. Henry leaves the lecture early and talks to Sam in the lobby. When the class lets out, a herd of people trample through the area, and if you glimpse briefly, you'll notice that several people repeat several times. There is no way that these are just like twins or triplets. His dying brain is attempting to recreate a memory he's had, or to create a memory from scratch that has too many faces, too many people in one place. The situation is incomprehensible because the brain is dying and cannot process thinking correctly. This is just the outcome of that. It's a glitch in thinking. The brain has been overloaded, so it starts to malfunction, repeating the same person over and over again. It's a testament to how things are really starting to regress for Henry. The two men walk through the school building, and the movie becomes this strange sequence of events that cascade into one another. There are parallel versions of Henry and Sam while walking that are also mirrored. Somehow the school becomes an aquarium, and Henry watches a walrus in a tank like he used to do as a child. Two older people come around and take a picture of what kind of looks like the walrus, but really it's just Henry, and they say he's not going to make it. Henry feels like a zoo animal while everyone is watching the worst moment of his young life take place. I imagine if there were phones, they would be recording, and it does feel like Henry is in a zoo a little bit because everyone is curious about a process we have a hard time understanding. Looking is natural, but it also does feel a little bit cold. Both Lila and Sam are remembering their worlds start to become disorganized. Lila calls Sam Henry during a conversation, and they both notice and find it off-putting, but they don't know where to go from there. Nothing is really making sense, but they don't know how to address it with each other. There is this constant sound of a baby crying in the background every time Sam is in their home apartment. Even though Lila has stated that their neighbors are way too old to have a baby, things are slowly starting to degrade for the story and the people in it, and their reality is becoming unrecognizable until Henry's reality becomes unrecognizable. Sam plays chess with what seems like an old friend who is also blind. The old man tells the story of a father who has lost a son. The man in the story dreams about his boy, and in his dreams, he tells him, "Can't you see I'm burning, Dad?" The father wakes, and his son is actually burning in real life. suggesting that dreams have a tangible link into reality. A dream is not just a random amalgamation of thoughts that are disconnected from the real world. A dream is merely the actionable resource for which your brain can compute the world around it and understand things better. Henry's dreams are acting as a shield for his very bleak, tragic reality. This statement triggers a brief flashback for Sam, one that feels like he's witnessing something traumatic. It's quickly lost once Henry rejoins the two men. Henry is disturbed and claims that the old man that Sam is playing chess with is actually his dead father. He's walking around just fine, and this is not supposed to be, according to Henry. The man continues to deny that he is who Henry says he is, and it never really goes anywhere from there. We never really get an answer about whether or not this is Henry's father in his dreamlike state. And Henry, closer to the end of the movie, performs a miracle which allows the blind man to see. And even when the man can see Henry, he denies the fact that he's his father even still, which is very strange. If anybody has any ideas on that, let me know, because I couldn't figure that one out. The movie continues to slide into madness as Sam runs after Henry down a flight of stairs that feel like they're endlessly leading to nowhere land. When Sam gains access to Henry's apartment, having been concerned about him for an entire week at this point, it's clear just how disturbed he really is. Written on the wall in tiny writing, the words "forgive me" outline the entire apartment. The answering machine displays a missed message, and it appears that Sam was attempting to contact Henry. His voice on the machine states, "Stay with me, Henry," which is odd because he's not left that message. Henry is now missing, and in an attempt to understand him a bit more and find him eventually, Sam retreats to the only person he knows that can tell him where he is or just more about him, Beth. Beth, Henry's previous counselor before he was with Sam, is in disarray in her apartment, and when Sam goes to talk to her, she repeats something we've heard Henry say when he was talking about the voices in his head. "I didn't move him. I know you're not supposed to move them." Beth urges Sam to go and talk to Henry's mom, whom he'd previously thought was dead because Henry told him as much. The surreal reality of what's happening starts to set in even more. Henry is dying, and this is either his way of coping with the guilt of the accident that caused his girlfriend, mother, and father to die, or this is a sort of purgatory state. Not necessarily a spiritual one, rather a mental purgatory of sorts. Henry's mother isn't looking great when Sam meets up with her. She continues to repeat herself, and she feeds tiny bits of information to Sam while doing this. She pops in and out of frame, bleeding from an unknown head wound, while Olive, Henry's old dog, attacks Sam. His mother is frustrated and angry at him. Not Sam. Henry. She's angry at Henry because she feels forgotten, like the family dog. She holds no more meaning to Henry than the family dog. And this seems to be Henry coming to grips with feeling like he should have been more present with his mother, that he put a lot of emphasis on his girlfriend and his father and their relationships, but he sort of kept her in the background. Henry is beyond distraught at this point, and we get a juxtaposed scene of him at a naughty dance club with a montage of his life playing on a screen randomly in the background. He's really going through it at this point, and I think the dancers, the whole scene represents things that he's done in his life that felt, quote, sinful. And I doubt Henry was particularly religious, but it may still weigh on him that he's spent time indulging in unsavory activities. My theory starts to bend a bit here because Henry has been in a car accident, no doubt about that. And though it seems like he is still sitting at the scene of the accident, mulling over his final thoughts because he can hear the people prattle on around him about what they're seeing, I do start to feel at this point more and more like Henry is comatose. And within this comatose state, he's trying desperately to stay alive, to remember himself and how to live. Things continue to repeat, and he is starved for answers. Over and over again, he succumbs to the few memories and feelings that his mind will allow him to access. They play like a loop over and over, and more grounded versions of Henry's personality, Sam specifically, become upset, and it's an indication that Henry's logical brain is starting to come apart. Twisting stares become a running theme as Henry gets closer to the answers about what happened that night. He's winding down an unending path of destructive truth. Sam desperately tries to find Athena, Henry's girlfriend, someone he's been talking about in therapy. He believes that she has all the answers about what's happening, and he ends up finding her at a theater where she's performing Hamlet with a partner. Henry doesn't know Athena in this version of his life, though. Their only interactions have been lackluster, to say the least, with Athena mentioning that she saw him once at a diner she works at, and they clicked, but they never truly spoke. This is confusing upon first look because I've interpreted it as Henry meeting Athena. It was such a powerful experience for him that in death, her loss was too much to endure. The loss of his girlfriend was too much for him to endure. So he pretended not to know her at all. She lives on without having met him, without meeting him. Her life doesn't end on that bridge that night. She tells Sam that she will take him to the place that she knows Henry usually hangs out, but she ends up disappearing down more winding stairs as they descend. Eventually, Sam falls on those very same stairs and loses his ring that he was going to use to propose to Lila. He lost her. Henry lost Athena, so Sam had to lose Lila. The moments slipped away from him, and then, like that, Sam is back. He's back in the theater watching Athena run lines with her partner. The dream is becoming more complicated. Henry goes and visits the man he says is his father. He holds his hands over the blind man's eyes and asks that he see him. It's a beautiful moment because it feels like within this memory, dream, whatever is happening, that he has just wanted a connection so badly with someone that he loves, and he got exactly what he was looking for in that moment. But the part of him that wants to live needs him to live. Sam is really just hanging out, still chasing a moment, a reason, and it feels like time is running out for him. Sam's regret screams through every scene, and so does his desperation to stay alive and finish what he started in life. But as it was, as it is, as it will be, he does not make it through. His life ends slowly in a painful whisper asking Athena to marry him. His dying wish to marry the love of his life has technically been fulfilled. Stay is a complex narrative written from the perspective of a dying brain that is actively trying to make sense of things. It feels bitter and incomplete, but thus is life, is it not? Children, wives, lovers, friends, husbands, daughters, sons, brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers, pets, they all die. 21 is so young, which is the age that Henry died. With so much more life to live before you wilt and become frail, the pain of a young life taken really does sit in the bones in a very different way than an older life. I hate to say it. It's much more potent and it's much more unfair. Henry wanted to make amends with himself before he let go. And I truly do not know if he ever did. What do you think? Thanks for watching this video. Sorry I was a bit late. I was supposed to post this on Friday, but I have been sick all week. I sounded a lot more sick at the beginning of this video, and now that I'm recording the end, I don't think I sound nearly as sick, but my voice is definitely struggling. But I will have another video out this Friday. I'm hoping to do the Midnight Mass show by Mike Flanagan, but we will have to see because I've been getting on and off tired, but I think things are getting better. So if not, regardless of what I post, I will be posting again on Friday. So I will see you then. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am this close. I can taste it to 2,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate if you stuck around. Thanks for listening. Bye.